You know what really grabs you? It's when a band, especially one known for something intense like black metal, takes a turn towards something,
Mm.
well, grander, almost soaring.
Mm.
And that's what we're diving into today. The latest from Finland's Havukruunu, even their name, Crown of Pines, just paints this picture, doesn't
It
it?
really does. And this new album, Tavastland, it's their fifth full length.
Right. And it's been a little while, 5 years since Uinio Siomane Soda, which came out back in 2020.
Exactly. So what we want to do today is really, dig into what people are saying about Tavastland. We've looked at a bunch of reviews, opinions, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And the mission here is to pull out the key takeaways, figure out what makes this album stand out, both for Havukruunu themselves and, like, in the bigger black metal picture.
So you get the essence without having to read everything yourself. Makes sense.
Pretty much.
All right, so kicking off,
Yeah.
that overall feeling, I noticed the word epic just keeps coming up again and again for Tavastland.
Yeah, that's a big one. It seems to be the dominant impression.
It sounds less like just a collection of tracks and more like a whole journey. People talk about this balance, darkness, even evil, but also optimism, fuel for victory. That sounds like a tricky mix.
It does, yeah. It's fascinating. And it seems like this epic feel isn't totally out of the blue.
Building on previous work.
Apparently so. The reviews suggest it develops themes from their last three albums. So there's a thread, a continuity there, even as they're maybe pushing into grander territory.
So where does that epic feeling come from specifically? Is it just longer songs or?
Well, partly that, yeah, but also seems to be about these big, sweeping melodic parts, almost like classic heavy metal sometimes.
Oh.
And the lyrics, too, painting pictures of, grand landscapes, heroic stuff, not just the usual dark themes.
Gotcha. So musically,
Yeah.
what's the core sound we're talking
Yeah.
about? Still melodic, fast riffs,
Oh, yeah, that's still there. That seems to be the foundation. And those early influences, the first wave bands.
like Bathory.
Yeah.
Until
Exactly. Those pioneers, that kind of raw, almost primal energy is still cited as a key influence.
But it's interesting, the band themselves, they don't always stick to the black metal label strictly, do they?
No, apparently they lean more towards heavy metal sometimes. They even use the term black and roll.
Black and roll, huh?
Yeah. Which kind of hints they're open to mixing things up, maybe explain some of those more melodic, epic parts we were talking about.
Right. So the core is still that rapid tremolo picking, the black metal hallmark,
Mm-hmm.
but woven in with like more traditional heavy metal harmonies,
Mm.
chord progressions.
That seems to be the idea, yeah.
Yeah.
Giving it that bigger, broader feel.
Now, one thing that caught my eye was a comparison to the last album. Someone said, Tavastland feels a bit more laid back,
Yeah.
less relentlessly fast than Uinio's Siomane Soda.
Interesting. Laid back isn't the first word you usually associate with this kind of music.
Right. But what they also praised were the song structures, saying they're stronger, really focusing on maybe one or two key riffs per song that just stick with you.
Ah, okay. So maybe trading a bit of speed for catchiness,
Yeah.
memorability.
That's how it sounds. Like maybe a sign of maturity in the songwriting,
Yeah.
letting the ideas breathe more.
Could be. Focusing on those hooks, those riffs that really grab you.
Yeah.
That shows they know how to connect with the listener, right?
Definitely. And you can't talk Havukruunu without mentioning the vocals, those Northern chants, the echoes.
Oh, yeah. Totally signature sound. It's become a real identifier for them.
Apparently the way they mix those chants with acoustic bits, especially on a track called Yunsumvidi, is really something. Instantly recognizable.
Absolutely. Those powerful, kind of layered, slightly raw harmonies, like ancient calls,
Yeah.
It's that blend of folk-inspired vocals with the metal instruments. That's key to their whole identity, grounding it in that specific Finnish atmosphere.
Adds layers, for sure. Now, this I found really interesting, the lineup change.
Oh, what's that?
Well, not exactly a change, more like a return. Humo, their original bassist.
From the debut album Havulinen. He left way back in, 2016?
That's the one. He's back after almost 10 years. And the reviews are really making a point of mentioning his bass playing on Tavastland.
Wow. Okay. That is significant. Having an original member return, that can really change the dynamic.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's not just symbolic. People are saying his playing is substantial, adding a whole new dimension.
Yeah.
You can really hear the bass more.
That's great. So it's really impacting the music.
Seems like it. And the chord guys are still there too, right? Stefan, Kostajainen, Henka.
Yep, the original creators. Stefan's still the main songwriter, crafting most melodies.
But Kostijanin's drumming is apparently crucial for driving those melodies. It's not just timekeeping.
Right, it's integral to the structure. And Henka's solos are getting a lot of love too, described as uplifting even.
Uplifting in this context.
Huh.
Okay. They specifically mentioned the solo in the title track, Tavastland.
It really shows how collaborative it is, doesn't it? Stefan might be the architect, but everyone's contribution shapes the final sound. Those solos add the emotional peaks.
Let's talk production. That's another point people are picking up on. It sounds like it's quite distinctive.
So,
Well, things like leaving some solos sounding quite raw, apparently.
yeah.
And letting guitars create this kind of droning texture sometimes.
Okay. Not going for that super polished sound then.
Seems not. And some reviewers see that as a deliberate choice, like a statement within the scene. Helps them stand out.
Yeah, that makes sense. Embracing a roar aesthetic can feel more authentic sometimes, especially in black metal, shows confidence in the music itself.
So putting it all together, is Tavastland seen as a step forward? It sounds like maybe it's less purely aggressive.
But compensating with stronger songs, deeper emotional weight.
That's the vibe I'm getting. Like, it's another sign of their mastery, just expressed differently, more adventurous, more epic.
I recommend listening to it as a whole piece kind of thing.
Exactly. It feels like they're continuing to evolve, pushing further into those epic waters, as one review put it.
And that Bathory influence you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, apparently that's come even more to the forefront now, but really merged properly with their own pagan black metal style. It's not just imitation, it's integration.
Nice. So it's a development, a refinement of their sound.
Totally. And the imagery the music creates sounds intense.
Mm.
Heroic mountains, frozen barrens. You really get a sense of place.
Yeah, the descriptions are vivid, stirring but severe, majestic but cold, sorrowful, melancholic. Quite a range.
It's like they're painting with sound, using different dark color, intensities, temperatures.
I love that description. Riffs like ice, solos like heat, powerful stuff.
And amidst all that atmosphere, the lead melodies still act as hooks, apparently, so it's not just noise.
Finding that balance. And the vocals contribute too, right?
Yeah,
The main vocals are described as like barbed and merciless.
Yeah. But then backed by these huge, vibrant, epic choirs, that contrast must be striking.
Definitely adds to the dynamic range.
Who are they getting compared to? Besides Bathory, obviously.
Well, Moonsorrow comes up. Like, maybe Moonsorrow broke that ground first, combining epic folk elements with black metal. No.
Okay, but Havukruunu are doing it exceptionally well, carving out their own space. Also bands like Finster Forest, maybe Pagan Rain.
Bands that create that unified sound, evoking folk music with metal instruments, big riffs, layered atmosphere.
Exactly. And the general feeling is that Tavastland might be Havukruunu's most sort of open and melodic album yet.
Maybe even their best. Some are saying that.
Yeah, that's high praise indeed. It shows they're really hitting their stride within that specific niche.
And they've been pretty consistent, haven't they? Putting out quality albums regularly.
Incredibly consistent. It seems like each album builds on the last, getting arguably better each time.
It's impressive how they keep finding fresh angles on styles like Bathory or Immortal, which have been around forever.
Totally. They're not just copying. They're genuinely inspired and adding their own thing. The melodic breaks, those big choirs, lots of riff changes within songs.
It keeps it interesting. And Tavastland is just the latest step on that journey, this mix of Viking and metal culture.
Yeah, testament to their dedication, really. They clearly love this stuff. Okay, let's get into some track specifics. That return of Hume on bass. People are saying it's his strongest performance ever with them, really impacting tracks like De Miseris Finorum.
Wow, strongest ever. That's saying something. You can really hear the difference then.
Apparently so. And there's a thematic thing, too. The opener and closer are the big epic ones. Longest tracks both have spoken intros, like bookends for the album.
Ah, nice structure. So the opener, Kuulemeppen Lalinhenki. What's the vibe there?
Starts off kind of Immortal-esque, apparently, then gets into dual guitars, heavy riffs, that prominent bass, and those Bathory-style Viking choirs again. Sounds huge.
Dynamic start. And the closer, De Miseris Finorum.
Even stronger Bathory vibes there, some old-school metal elements, too. Punchy vocals really emphasizing the riffs. There's this cool transition mentioned, bass and drums, blast beating together. Whoa!
Yeah. And even some old-school, Merciful Fate-style dueling guitars. Then it ends with a soothing Viking outro. Quite the journey in one track.
Sounds epic. Any other tracks getting special mentions?
Yeah, a few. Havukruunu ja Talvinvario, noted for being bass-heavy, fast black metal, but then shifting into alternating acoustic and distorted guitars. Relentless bass throughout.
Cool contrast.
The title track, Tavastland, features layered vocals, this kind of steady tramping pace that builds up with strings and choirs.
Strings too.
And Unisekirvi described as a unique mix of thrashy riffs, melody, and again, those massive Viking choirs.
So lots of variety within their sound palette.
Definitely. They're not just doing one thing. Each track seems crafted with its own character.
And the production quality overall.
Yeah.
Better this time.
Generally considered one of their best produced records, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently much better than the master on Winoa Siomain Soda, which some found a bit compressed. This one lets all the layers breathe.
Good to hear. Essential for this kind of layered music.
For sure. Though one review did mention Yönsinti as maybe slightly weaker compared to the rest. Still good, just maybe not quite a standout.
Fair enough. Rarely is every single track a 10 out of 10.
Right. But the overall takeaway is overwhelmingly positive. Album of the Year contender is being thrown around. Longtime fans should be very happy.
Okay, so wrapping this up, Tavastland sounds like Havukruunu taking their established epic, melodic black metal sound and just refining it, building on it with stronger compositions, maybe more emotional depth.
Yep. And that returning bassist, Humo, clearly making a big difference to the feel. It's another step up, showing their continued growth and, frankly, mastery of this style.
They're really carving out their own path while still honoring their roots.
Exactly. Proving you can stay true to a sound while still pushing boundaries and exploring new ground.
So a final thought maybe for you, the listener. It makes you think, doesn't it? How do bands in these established genres keep finding fresh inspiration? How do they evolve without losing what made people like them in the first place? What is it about Tavastland? Maybe that blend of aggression and melody or the sheer atmosphere that resonates. How does it fit into your own picture of how music or art in general keeps changing and finding new ways to connect?
Definitely something to chew on after listening.